everybody, welcome to this month's unboxing release video for Genesys Cloud, April 2024. My name is Edgar Quadra, and also in the video today, Ryan will be going over the releases today. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing well.
Great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Starting our week here, so we both had a great weekend, and let's get into this month's releases. So first is for the week of April 1st, and let's go ahead and talk about some of these. Remember, our format again is we're going to pick and choose some of them to talk about. And the first one is actually the one we're going to start off with, and that is Operational Console to monitor and view operational events. Basically what this is if within the contact center, the admin or IT department, they're going to report that there's an individual that's having just inconsistent connection issues or just unexplained behaviors, and generally prior to this feature, we would ask that individual to turn on their console network logs on their browser, download them, and then send them over to IT. But Genesys has kind of streamlined that process now, where at the admin section, under the people section here, you can turn on login, and then you go down to the log capture new field under troubleshooting in the audit view, and then those individuals that have got that turned on, their logs, or they'll be able to view here and see those entries. You can go ahead and download them directly, or from the actual environment, go ahead and download them or view those logs. So incredibly helpful. When there's voice quality issues, we can see what's going on there and really get a good idea of what's happening, kind of streamlining that process. So incredible feature, I believe. All right, let's move on now to the next one here. We're going to talk about the leader view disabled for organizations with disabled gamification. So very quickly, what that is under the activities section here in Genesys. This leaderboard would still be visible even if you didn't subscribe or have gamification turned on or using it, I believe. Is that correct, Ryan?
Yeah. So it was always visible even if you weren't using it. So this should really just help clean up the UI, specifically, obviously, for those who don't have gamification.
Yeah. Excellent. All right. Thank you. Okay, let's move on now. File attachments. And that is the end of this week here in our summary. I'm going to jump over now to the second week here. I'm going to open it up. And the first one we're going to talk about here is file attachments via supported contact profile. So this now gives your admins much more granularity in the types of files that can be sent from the agent, end users, over through the messenger communication channel. So you can see various attachment types and the supported formats there. So you'll be able to create a content format or profile, and then specify exactly what types of file types you're going to allow on your system through messaging. Okay. Let's move on here now to introducing the nuance recognizer as a service integration. Talking this over with Ryan here, this I think is gonna greatly enhance and improve how for more simplistic voice recognition IVRs, not natural speech language processing, but when you're asking option or menu 1 or things like that, this enhancement here is going to work very well. Now, Ryan, I know this is a bit more closer to your expertise. Want to shed a bit more light on it?
Yeah, so the first thing that I want to call out is that this would be an integration that you add onto your org. So it is something that has been built out as essentially as an add-on option. But really, one of the key pieces that this is going to help is capturing alphanumeric, so a mixture of letters, numbers over the IVR. So, for example, if you have users who are calling in and need to put in account numbers or need to input anything that mixes those letters and numbers. Postal code, yeah, up here in Canada, postal code, that's a huge one. Generally, that's a little bit trickier to capture, but the nuance recognizer is specifically designed to, that is one of the things that it excels at. So this will be really useful for anyone who's trying to capture any of that data, either for self-service purposes or even just to provide that to your agents to make a cleaner experience for the customer. So this is really exciting and makes it a lot easier to capture that data.
Nice. Yeah, a couple of prerequisites here. It's available across all license levels, it looks like. You need to be subscribed to the digital bot flow engine. And you can set up for a free Nuance account to test it. And with details, I think on full production, you may have to dig a little bit deeper to find that out. But yeah, thanks for that, Ryan. Clarity there. Yeah. A couple more, I think. Okay. And now let's move on to the next week here. So under here, first one let's talk about here for April 15th is post-call actions and voice calls. This one's actually super interesting. Now, and let me just get a better picture here. Now at the end of a call, the customer can stay on the line, and what Genesys will do is, instead of dropping that interaction, or let's say the agent ends the call or drops from the line, but the customer's still on the line, Genesys can then transfer them over to a flow to trigger certain actions. So one of the use cases here is transfer to a post-call survey, and this is transfer to a voice call survey, for example, or some other service like that, post-call. So now the system will do that automatically for them. You don't have to train your agents to transfer them over, so you can remove some of the biases if you want to use this particular trigger for surveys as the example there. And I'm sure there's various other ways that you can go ahead and trigger an action for post calls, but there's just one particular example there. What do you think, Ryan?
That's incredibly, this is a very useful feature for, being able to capture any of those post-call surveys, really having any sort of, stay on the line treatment. There's definitely use cases for that, so being able to provide that. Nice. I'm excited to see how this will play out in production.
Here, another one here, improved agent utilization for digital transfers. So currently, when an agent is working a digital interaction, email, web chat, I think even SMS goes under digital, but an agent has an active interaction there, and they're going to transfer it over through consult. There's that wait time for agent A waiting for that interaction to be picked up by agent B. So it's during that wait time where agent A cannot receive any new interactions. And that wait time could potentially be long or short, who knows, that's variable. But what now with this new feature here is when the agent is initiated that transfer and is waiting for the interaction to be picked up by agent B, agent A can receive now a new interaction while they're kind of waiting for that transaction or that interaction to connect on the other end. So efficiency gains there. And a couple key metrics there, I think, that will be affected by this, average wait time, I think, within the queue. So something to consider there. So very nice little feature there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Next one here is very big. I think this particular topic may warrant its own discussion. It's actually a brand new interaction type that Genesys is introducing. It's called work automation, but think of it more as task routing. And they actually kind of call it that way, non-conversational tasks. So, we're used to voice, email, chats as an interaction type. Well, now with this one, you could use the same Genesys routing engines to route non-customer related tasks, so back office tasks. So let's say we are working in a customer service department and someone through an IVR or web portal submits a web form, a sales form, or in say utilities, you submit a moves form to start a moves process, and then that gets captured potentially in your CRM. Or now within Genesys, you can have that interaction trigger these task items. And then now these task items can be assigned to the individual to trigger them to start doing some work while in between calls, or you can start creating new statuses to track now this new work that's being monitored and being routed by Genesys Cloud. Other things that these new work items allow you to do is set time to live or next action. So again, I create a task to fill out this moves form or fill out this customer service service form. I could set a particular time period, and if that task is open for X amount of time, then and provide a next action, escalate it, or end it completely. Maybe it's a sales activity that you can start using Genesys potentially for, and it has a time to live of a web lead for 24 hours, and if no action or nothing happens or it doesn't get moved to the next stage of that task, then it just ends it. So there's a lot of nuances to this particular task or task item router work automation that I've learned. I know a lot about this because I've been trying to do it for other previous deals. So there's a lot of nuances, and that's why I'm saying it needs to warrant its own discussion. So maybe we'll create another video around that. But it's a new particular feature that is out now, or a new interaction type for mostly back office work, really. License levels, I've been trying to dig around a little bit about what license level this is going to be affecting. So again, we'll probably do a follow-up video on this particular thing and get more of those details there, but it's a good first introduction on it, something to think about. I know it's been requested from our other clients here. But yeah, that's
This is really exciting. Like, this is like you said, this is something that a lot of people have been waiting for and hoping to have happen.
Yeah. I'm one of those people waiting for this one.
Yeah.
Okay, dynamic time zone settings and workplace views. This is interesting. If your workforce or your organization has users and Genesys Cloud users across multiple time zones, and they want to start seeing reports in their own particular time zone for that reason, within Genesys now there's various ways that can be set. You can set now to get that time zone set. So first off, when you go to the default tab for the workspace there, you can go ahead and set your time zone for your performance views there. I'm going to go ahead and where do I feel like I want to be today? Maybe just Italy has a time zone there. Let's go to Whitehorse. So now I can set my time zone there. Now all my performance views will now show that actual time zone for that. Another way to use this is I can go ahead and when I do an export of this view, I can go ahead and export it in the appropriate time zone as well. So it's a handy little feature there for organizations with working in multiple time zones.
That's just such a great quality of life piece there.
Nice. Okay. All right, let's move on here now. Okay, analytics data masking options. So previously by default, Genesys would mask all PII information in most of the performance views, specifically the My Performance views for agents. Well, now through one of the permissions there, you can go ahead and control who can unmask and who can see those particular PI information, so phone number and address, under the My Interactions view. So nice granular addition to PII and security feature within Genesys Cloud, and something definitely can take advantage of. So maybe power users, or there's people that may have just elevated agent permission that need to be able to see some of that PI information. We can now add a specific permission for that. Okay. Let's move on now to agent empathy analysis. So this is part of the text and speech analytics suite of tools. And now not only tracking the sentiment of the call, so the tone, positive or negative tone, but also now for the agent specifically is what is their empathy? Is it positive or negative? How often are they using positive reaffirming wording or negative wording? So with that now, you can go and Genesys will mark that in the interaction, and then open up a lot of new tools like filtering for empathy and levels of empathy for that. So let's actually get into it here. So first off, I'm going to go ahead and open up Genesys here. Under the filters and performance views, there's now a new empathy score that we can go ahead and filter particular calls for. And once we've identified calls just based on their empathy score, you can go ahead and open one up, and we can take a look and see what it actually looks like here. So there's two new markers. So there's one here. You can maybe make it out there, but it's a happy face in green. And then there's unhelpful marker, which is red and a not happy face there. So using the same kind of tools in here, I can go ahead and look for all my positive empathy markers, click on that, it'll jump to the call, and you can see down below here the actual wording that's being used for tracking that positive empathy. So you can go ahead and see that a little bit more information, the documentation here. Here's some example phrases there as well that Genesys is using to track and identify those empathy events. Okay. What do you think of that, Ryan?
It's great. It's really interesting that we've come so far with being able to provide essentially a recording, the capability to track empathy, something that is generally viewed as such a human concept. We're able to automatically track that. I think that's really neat from both a technical perspective and from just a societal perspective. But it should really give a lot more information into how the agents are interacting, whether instead of it just being a helpful, positive comment, we're actually seeing whether or not we're actually connecting to our customers.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point there. Very insightful. Glad to have you on these calls, Ryan.
I'm glad I get to be on them.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on now to the last week here, April 19th. Or sorry, April 29th. Or sorry, no, I forgot one. Very quickly, for those that are using the embedded framework in Genesys Cloud, so think of in your Salesforce, you can embed Genesys in that environment. So organizations that are using that technology, your headphone controls can now be used through that embedded client interface. So very nice little, as Ryan puts it, a quality of life enhancement for the agent. Okay, let's move on now to April 29th. Enhanced Toast email and SMS notification alerts. Okay, so for those that may or may not be familiar, you're now able, there's this whole new alerting engine within Genesys Cloud. So if I go under my views and I go to my alert views, you can set up more enhanced views there to trigger that desktop. I think they're calling Toast, but that desktop notification, an email or an SMS to be triggered if some of those values are met. But now is an enhancement in the type of metrics that can be used to trigger those events. Based down to a single conversation or the user's presence during the duration of the user's presence there. So nice little enhancement there. I know I've got a couple clients that's be part of their solutions using these alerting types there. Okay. Next one here is Agent Assist, and more specifically Agent Assist summarization. This was released a little while back, or part of the whole Agent AI or Genesys Cloud Agent Assist toolset. I know it's actually might be rebranded a little bit later on or something new called Agent Copilot. But Agent Assist, one of the things, I think it was last month where I talked about, where now the summarization is now can be done for voice interactions. What it looks like, and you would have to go to the Agent Assist panel or button to click on that particular panel, then copy and paste it into your after call work notes. Well, now that summarization is being displayed, and you'll be able to copy it directly from the call notes section. So you can see here that the wrap-up codes and the notes have been expanded a little bit more, and it looks like it's or copy first. The agent's able to see the summary under the after call work tab there or button, and go ahead and copy that directly into your call notes and go ahead and save. So previously you would have to click on Agent Assist button, copy it, then go to the next tab and click on it and drop it down into the notes there. All right.
This will just be nice because I know personally whenever I was using this, to remember to go back over to the Agent Assist tab to then come back into after call work. It's not a lot, but it was enough that sometimes I would just completely forget that feature existed.
Yeah. It's also very intuitive, right? Like I'm wrapping up my call or interaction, everything should be there, right? You kind of forget to go there, and I know there's a few times I demoed it and I got lost in that. Like, where is it? And I had to go and dig a little bit more for it. But yeah, nice little improvement there. Streamline and remove a couple clicks for the agent. Great. Okay. All right, and I believe that is the end of what we're going to show for this month here. So overall, I think some very good, obviously always good improvements within Genesys workspace there. Again, look out for a new video around the work automation and being able to dig a little bit more into that and actually see how the particular use cases for that new feature can be used for. Yeah. Closing thoughts, Ryan?
Not too much. Just I think the thing that I'm most looking forward to is the application of the work item routing and seeing how that how much we can use that.
Yeah. We're in agreement there. Okay. Well, that ends our video for April 2024, everyone. Again, remember to please like and subscribe this video, and please share with your colleagues, with your friends, and give us some feedback. Again, thank you for your time. Ryan, thanks for joining me this month.
No, thanks for having me.
All right. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.